This screencast tutorial is going to show you how to take a Google form and use Autocrat to have something to send home for the families to see so the students can work with their families to help improve their learning. So the first thing you need to start with is a Google form. I have mine set up already. I have a space for first name, last name, a space for email or Google Drive username. That'll come in handy later as we're doing the Autocrat. And then I simply have just my questions for the assessment. From there, I have already gone through and I took the assessment, and you see there's one response already, and that was me making an answer key. So then I will click on viewing responses in Sheets, which I have here pulled up. So what I'm going to do here, I have the answer key made. I use the Google Forms feature to make this into a scored assessment. So it's already been graded for me. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add a sheet. And as I add a sheet, I'm going to use the transpose formula. And what the transpose formula will do is it will take the information that was horizontal, which makes it really, really easy for me to turn this into an Autocrat thing. So I start my formula by pressing the equal sign. I start typing transpose, and then I will go back to my original sheet, and I will just highlight these two rows entirely, and I will press enter. So now what it did here on this second sheet, which is identified as sheet 4 on here, I have that information that I just had horizontally, and now it's vertically. So I will copy all of my things. My left column is going to be my questions, and the right column will be my correct responses. So I will copy that, and I will go File, New, make a new document. Once I have this new document created, all I'll do is I will do File, or right click, paste, and it will paste in my information. So now what I have is I have a nice 2-column, has the questions, and on the right is the correct answers. Now what I would want to do is I'm going to come back up to the top, and I will right click and I will add a column to the right, and I will right click, add a row above. So the row above, I will type this one, we'll say question, this will say correct answer, and I'll title this column your response. Just as a formatting thing, I will make those bold because they're column headers. And then I will space this out a little bit. I'll drag that over, and I'll just try to even out the rows a little bit. You can actually distribute the rows, distribute columns that way, and then I just go through and I make the rows as small as possible. So what I need to do now is we already have a thing for question, correct answer, and your response. So with Autocrat, what I'll do is I will go back to my sheet, and I will copy. This time I'm going to copy just the questions. So copy, come in here, click in this column that has my response, and paste it in there. So now I have a row that has my questions. It looks identical to the row that says questions. So I'm going to put in tags here. These tags will be used as I do Autocrat. So I put 2 tags at the beginning, 2 tags at the end. I'll do a couple examples here. So on and so forth. So 2 tags at the beginning, 2 tags at the end. The next thing I'll do is for us to have the identified by the students, I will take where it says first name and last name. I'll actually grab this from the original sheet. First name, last name. I will paste those in. put tags in front of those. And the really cool thing with the Google Forms quiz feature, I can put score, and then I can grab the word score, copy that, paste it in, and I'll just title this as Civil War Assessment Template. So that's all you need to do on the doc side of things. So now I'll go back to my spreadsheet and I'll go onto add-ons. I have Autocrat installed already. If you don't, you need to go to Get Add-ons and search for Autocrat. Press open. It will take a moment. Okay, I already have done this once, but I will press new job. So I'll title this Civil War 2. Press next. I'll select my template from Drive, and that's the template I just made. So it should be my first thing that pops up right here, and it is. Once it's in there, I press next. You see the beautiful thing, it's already mapped all the tags. And so here, the economy of the, for the first couple, it mapped my tags. All I need to do is I need to see where the question is and map it to the right column. So I just basically find that one. That one already mapped itself. That one mapped itself. So it's pretty straightforward. I go to next. Here, file name. I like to use, grab that sidebar and I click on last name. And what that does is that puts me on my clipboard. I'll paste that in. I like to use our last names because those are unique. You might want to do last name, first name. And I always do multiple, playing around with a single document. Sometimes it doesn't work out as well as I'd like. Next, destination folder. You have to create a folder for this. I have Civil War assessments set up as my folder. Dynamic folder reference, that's a merge condition, another advanced feature. For Share Doc, this is cool. If you collected the student's Google Drive username or email address, rather than having to print these off at the end, you can have it shared directly to their email address. So you can have it shared as an editable doc. I would share it as a view-only doc. Only reason so they can't go and edit their responses after the fact and say to their parents, I did really, really well, but in actuality they might not have. So view only or possibly comment only, so maybe they can ask you some questions. In the to box, grab the sidebar, click on wherever you have your question for Google Drive invite, reply to your subject, your Civil War. You can type a little message. You can use tags again here. You can say, hey, grab their first name this time. Your results are attached. Your score was, and you can grab the tags for that. And then maybe a message something like, please review and don't hesitate to ask for assistance. I personally turn that off because my students don't have access to email. It could be shared directly to their Google Drive, but I generally just print these out at the end. So I have something physical to send home to the parents who still enjoy that kind of thing. So I'll turn that back off. Form trigger means every time a student submits, it'll run the job. Time trigger means every day at a certain time, you run the job. I usually use form trigger. Then you press save. Sometimes it takes a moment for it to save. And then you're all done there. You have your job. If you have triggers set up, you'll be able to, it'll run automatically. Time triggers, it'll run automatically. or you can just come here and press the play button and it will run the job. From there, if you did it with a Google Drive emails or what have you, you don't have to do anything further. It will go directly to the student. If you opt to send it home on paper, it'll all dump into the folder. I would use PDF Mergy, which is a Google Drive app, to make it all one file and then run it off to the copier. So that's how you can use Autocrat and Google Forms to make a send home sheet to help your students prepare at home and review.